Hello, welcome to Hook Legends, and thanks for watching this video. First, I would like to give a shout out. Thanks for all of our subscribers and viewers. Just want to let you know that I appreciate you taking the time to watch these videos. Now, the title of today's video is Morning Crappie Bite. So, I want to give you a little bit of quick history. My dad and I, we used to get up and probably 5:30 in the morning. We would get out early, and we had a lot of success fishing in the morning for crappie. But we would stay out all day until dark. So we would fish from morning to dark. And usually the bite would be pretty good just before dark. As I got older and I joined the workforce, so I tended to just work. I tended to work mostly during the day. So I actually fished a lot in the evenings, and it just became a habit. Now, here in the past few weeks, though, the conditions have been pretty tough. So when you know you're in the right place based on the water temperature, the season, and other conditions, and you're just not having a whole lot of luck, maybe it's time for you to change the game. Maybe it's time for you to change your strategy. So it's been years. I don't know how many years. It may have even been decades. It's been a long time since I actually got out of bed early and around sunrise and crappie fish. So, but over the past few weeks, it was just tough going. It was picking up a few fish, but just not like what I was accustomed to. So decided to change the game and get up and do some morning fishing. Now, with that being said, I don't want to have to give a spoiler alert. So let's jump into this video, and I want you to see how within 5 minutes of us pulling up on this crappie hole, I want you to see what happens. Let's jump to the video. You got it? That's a nice one too, ain't it?
God dog, he got off. Dog.
He got off?
Yeah, good enough rascal got off. Saw that big old rascal got off.
And what was on?
Big old hammer knock. He didn't even move with it, man. He didn't move with it.
Now how about slipping that net down there? Let's get that goat net.
He got off. We're down there, dog. We're down there. Boy, we 0 for 2.
Okay, now you can see that we started out with two very nice sized crappie, and we lost them. And you're probably wondering, like, what are these guys doing? Why were they trying to slide them in the boat that way? And one of the things that were going on, there were a few boaters on the lake that day, and one of the things we try not to do, sometimes if you're putting fish in the boat and other boaters in the area, other fishermen in the area, see that, they're going to kind of come into that area where you are, and sometimes it can impact your fishing. It could impact the lanes that you're trolling in. I remember my daddy once told me that he found some beds one time, and he said eventually everybody came into that area, and he said someone actually once, when they flicked their pole out, their lure landed in the back of his boat. So we try not to draw attention to ourselves when we're out fishing. So we were trying to slide these fish in the boat quietly, and it just didn't work for us. We're getting the fish that close to the rod tip, it's easy for them to get off. So we lost 2 quality fish starting the day out. So let's go back now so you can see that we're going to recover quickly and start keying in and on these fish. He'll be already a minute or two without some water. They see you putting water in there. That's a peel to your thing.
I see it looking over there. Thinking about looking home. That's a big one. You see me anyway. That's a spit.
Spit.
See that moving?
Now, I'm not exactly sure why these fish have been in a pretty good mood in this particular video at that time. One of the seasonal, I won't say seasonal, one of the environmental conditions that were going on, it was a rare, very rare situation. There was a potential for 2 hurricanes to be in the Gulf of Mexico at exactly the same time. Now, I think one of them is progressing into a hurricane. One may be a tropical depression, but it was somewhat overcast, and the temperature change within a week's period of time went from about 90 degrees down to about 82 degrees. The water temperature was 82 degrees when we caught these fish. The impact that had to me when the water was around 90 degrees, I would put minnows out there, and I did a test. They were barely lasting 60 seconds. Okay, the water temperature was just so hot, I wasn't having a whole lot of success with minnows, and black crappie have a preference for live bait. Once that minnow perished on the hook, the likelihood of a black crappie biting it is going to be pretty slim. So. What do you look like? Now I want to talk a little bit about the technique that we were using. When you get into crappie fishing, there's terms called pushing bait, pulling bait. Pushing bait is usually when you spout a rig and you put your rods off the front and you're moving forward. You call that pushing bait. In my particular boat, the boat is a good sized boat for the niche that I purchased it for. I have a different boat, a larger pontoon boat, but this is my niche boat that I use in this particular lake here where I'm fishing. So it's not enough room to put 2 people side by side up front. So it's kind of hard to say whether this is pushing or pulling because it's kind of a combination of pushing and pulling. And what we do is we put the rods off on the sides of the boat. Now I tend to bump the trolling motor, and I'll sometimes have the boat going left, right, backwards, sideways. Basically, the pattern you want is an unpredictable pattern, okay? And I think ultimately the goal that you're trying to achieve, that I was trying to achieve, was really to just keep that bait moving through the strike zone, through the target area. These fish in the past few weeks have wanted the bait moving. Just putting it out there, letting it sit in one place, I mean, we would get bites, but nothing compared to when we would just move and drift along. And you can also cover larger areas that way also. So that was the technique that we were using to catch these fish.
Now he come up in.
Alright, let's back over here to the honey hole.
About 5 or 6?
About 6, I think.
Oh, God, we can turn it over around.
Gotta get that leg. Yeah. All right, so as you can see, fishing in August, depends on what part of the country you're in. It could be very hot, very humid, but it can also be very successful. So make sure you take time, get up, get out, and go fishing. Alright, we got a nice one here. One nice crappie to go in the cooler.